Alex Berenson, who was banned from Twitter for quite some time for questioning the vaccine's efficacies and questioning masking and questioning all the same things that you've been questioning. So he got, for a while, permanently booted off of Twitter. He got back on. He filed a lawsuit. But he has now revealed that Pfizer board member Scott Gottlieb was instrumental in getting that ban in place, that Gottlieb secretly pressed Twitter to censor Berenson in the days before Twitter actually suspended Berenson's account. And Gottlieb is the former FDA commissioner who then finds himself with his cushy seat on the Pfizer board. He apparently, this is according to Berenson, on August 24th, 2021, Scott Gottlieb sent an urgent email about Berenson's reporting to a contact at Twitter, forwarding an article that Berenson had written about Anthony Fauci on Berenson's Substack, complaining, "This is what's promoted on Twitter. This is why Tony needs a security detail." But the piece did not threaten Tony Fauci or harass him in any way. It just called him arrogant, said he was a skilled courtier, and mocked his comment that attacking him was attacking science. So here you have the Pfizer board member running cover for Anthony Fauci. And of course, it works both ways. Gottlieb came on my program, and can I tell you, I pressed him hard on some of the claims he was making, and he became very defensive. And it didn't wind up going very well. And when it was over, he said to my team something to the effect of, I'm respected. I'm a respected authority. It's like, oh, okay, but that doesn't give you a pass on tough questions. You're a respected authority too, but you got tough questions the last time you were on. Most people come on and take it like men or women if they actually know their stuff. But it reminded me of this exchange. Here's just a bit of the interview I'm referring to, former FDA chair, Scott Gottlieb. But the masks are not effective, and there aren't studies proving that they are. The CDC's own study, deal with that, 90,000 students in the Atlanta school district, prove that they do not have any effect. Why isn't that valid? Why isn't the CDC relying on its own study to allow us to unmask our children?
Yeah, my policy prescription would be that in the setting of a very contagious variant that we don't know how hard or easy it's going to be to control in a school setting, where the imperative is to keep kids in the classroom and also keep them safe. We should go into the school year adopting all the reasonable measures that we can take and peel them away as we see how successful we are. Masking has negative effects.
Masking has negative effects on children. That's been proven as well. This is not a harmless measure, and it's not helping. So why wouldn't we be honest about the CDC's own information?
Well, that's where we're going to agree that they took that approach. They didn't have any mitigation in place in a lot of those school districts. And we saw the virus become epidemic in the schools. Now, it coursed its way through.
What schools did it become epidemic in? Amongst children? In school spread? That's not true. Yeah, on it went. But that's just one example. I'm sure you could give us 10 more. The FDA, the people who are on it, and the people who are so closely tied, they miraculously wind up at Big Pharma, getting big paychecks right after they leave. This system is corrupt, and it leads to disinformation. You want to talk disinformation? They're purveyors of it.
Yeah, I mean, he came from the pharmaceutical industry. He was, President Trump appointed him to run. He's part of the, I don't want to inject myself into it, but President Trump asked me in January of 2016 to run a vaccine safety commission. And I agreed to do it. And to study and to make sure the right studies were being done, to make sure the vaccines were each vaccine was actually working. A placebo-controlled study, the same studies that are required for every other medication, and vaccines are exempt from that. When it was announced that I was going to be running a vaccine safety commission, and the purpose of the commission would be to require those studies to be done, which they all say are being done, but they're not. Oh, when it was announced that I was going to be put on a vaccine safety commission, there was panic throughout the industry and the regulatory, public health regulatory agencies. And Pfizer made $1 million contribution to Trump, and Trump then appointed two people who were handpicked by Pfizer, Alex Azar and Scott Gottlieb, to run the public health agency, and they killed the Vaccine Safety Commission.
Wow.
And Scott Gottlieb came out of the industry. And of course, the frustrating and I don't know exactly how it happened. I don't know why, but they just stopped. As soon as those guys got in there, they stopped answering our phone calls or communicating with us. If you look at that clip was really, it's kind of a template for how they handle this. This guy is the guy who ran through Operation Warp Speed. Wouldn't you think he'd be going and doing his homework on this vaccine and masking and all the other things that he was involved with, and that he'd be able to field a simple question like the one that you asked him? And all he did was tap dance. It reminded me of that movie, Chicago, where Richard Gere is saying, give them the old razzle dazzle. Mm-hmm. He was not answering any of your question. He was just,
it's true.
It's interesting to play it again. It was just, it was classic double talk. And, repeating the same thing and moving the goal and dodging and weaving. And, but it was.
And then at the end to say to my staff, I am a respected authority. It's like, that's not going to save you here, right? It's like, okay. So yeah, we've got his number. But let me stay for a moment on the censorship. You got censored. And by the way, we didn't even talk about Children's Health Defense Fund. They got, your organization got censored from Instagram and Facebook and booted off for raising these very questions. Now we talked about Berenson, Joseph Ladapo, the Surgeon General of Florida. So he just got suspended on Twitter. Then after public shaming, they restored him because he's frustrated too by the lack of honesty coming from the vaccine companies on the downsides, especially when it comes to young men. And he tweeted out, today we released an analysis of the COVID mRNA vaccines that the public needs to be aware of. This analysis showed an increased risk of cardiac-related death among men 18 to 39. Florida will not be silent on the truth. And he linked to guidance stating that they found an 84% increase in the relative incidence of cardiac-related death among males in that age group within 28 days following the mRNA vaccination. Then his critics came out and said, oh, that's not a real study. It's like some Word document he just put together. And Dr. Marty Makary of Johns Hopkins, he came out and said, you know what? Public health officials have said you can't make a correlation between cardiac death and this vaccine without a formal study. And they've chosen never to do one. And he had no problem with the way that Ladapo did it. Florida said, we'll do it ourselves. He said they used a very elegant study design. Let's look at all the heart attacks 6 months after COVID vaccination and ask ourselves, did they occur at an equal distribution over those 6 months? Or were they clustered in the month after the vaccine? And they found that they were clustered in the immediate 4 weeks after the vaccination. But you see it here too, over and over. The establishment works together to shame, to silence and to shame. The shaming's part of it. There's so much to love about fall, right? From the cooler temperatures to the changing leaves, everything pumpkin spiced, Halloween, everything. Love the whole season. What better way to soak up the best of the season than with a Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas? A Michael Phelps swim spa combines the benefits of a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. It comes in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Master Spas worked with Michael Phelps to develop an at-home training and fitness solution that you can use year-round in any season, even in the winter. As your fall calendar fills up, a Michael Phelps swim spa is the perfect place to spend time together as a family. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. It is energy efficient. You can use it all year long. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK to save $1,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. That's masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.